I've brought you here today to this old home in Provo, Utah. You know, you can find some of the most interesting stuff in some of the oldest homes. This one's got some interesting items that I'd like to show you. Come along with me, let's check some things out. You know, as you take a look at this exterior wall, obviously this home was not built yesterday. You've got a home here where you've got it's actually an addition, it's a concrete wall. You got a concrete foundation beneath, and that's all okay. It's structurally sound, etc. But one thing about these older homes is quite often you can get termites, especially in older growth areas like this. For example, you see this stump here? That's going to be termite heaven. And you know, there's not much you can do about a stump like this. It's going to have roots that you can't get out. But what you do need to do is make sure that you're not getting those termites inside the house. That brings up the next question. You got to get around this stump here, but you've got this hole down here in the footing. Now the question becomes, you know, why is the hole there? Is that a structural problem? Or are we getting rats, mice, etc. in there? And the answer is that yes, it is a rats and mice thing. We dug at this for a while, and guess what we found out? This is a crawl space vent. It's designed to vent out the crawl space, and that is important. Structurally, it was designed to have that hole there. But is there a risk of having termites get in there? You bet. What about the risk of having water get in there and flood out the place and making the home so much better for termites? Absolutely. This needs to be addressed by getting the drainage away from the house, screening that so that it doesn't become a front door for mice. Coming around the corner, you know, we have another sort of an issue that is often very conducive to termites. And this can happen in Utah, it can happen pretty much anywhere. You have down here a 2x4 that was placed between slabs of concrete. This is often done to make the look sometimes a little better, but guess what again? Termite heaven, you really don't want to do that. And if you've got that in your home, make sure you get rid of it. You can pull that up with a pry bar because that's just an invitation for termites waiting to happen. Okay, sometimes in home inspections you don't have to go too much further to see another sort of an issue. Guess what? Here's another one of them. You see these bushes, trees, whatever these things are, they're way too close to the foundation. You can see they're sandwiched in between the structure of the house and the driveway slab. Now, it doesn't take a genius to know that these trees, the bushes, as they get larger, they're going to start pushing your foundation around. And you can actually see, if you look, you've got stresses showing up here in this part of the wall that are not found elsewhere. May be related to the structural stresses that the house is feeling because of these guys. Now, in addition to that, again, we go back to the termite thing. With all of this, all these leaves going here, etc. Again, that's just what a termite queen is looking for as she's moving from point A over there to point B right here. Welcome to termite land. Coming around the corner, you see that we have some fascia especially that has been badly damaged because we've not got the drainage right. Now, as you know, besides being the home medic, I like to call myself the drainage Nazi. It's a term that I've grown accustomed to and endeared to. But you know what? This is why everybody needs to become a drainage Nazi. You see, you've got this big hole in the side here that is just aged through. And you're going to get birds in here. You can have all kinds of critters, chipmunks getting into the house, mice, you name it. So the first thing you need to do, rather than just fix the hole and the aging, you can see this sort of thing going on here. Rather than just fix that, you need to fix the root cause first. And what that means is to actually, you know, get the drainage right, make sure that the water, when it comes off the shingles, actually is forced into a rain gutter and safely drained away from the house so the termites can't get to it. Coming around to the other side of the home, you see that we've got even some more drainage and termite related issues. I want to show you this one here too. We've got no rain gutter up above. Again, we've got some more bushes right next to the place. And I want to show you this window well. As you get into there, you see we've got leaves, we've got a drainage slope right into the house. And what a termite heaven for a queen that one is. Guess what? As a homeowner, you need to get that one resolved, or you're going to have termites and drainage issues again. And let me take you around to this corner. Take a look at this tree stump here. This baby, what, about 2 feet in diameter? You can see that again it's been pushing your foundation around a little bit, and look what a tree can do to your soffit and fascia. As you look straight up here, you can see that that tree that used to be here has completely obliterated the fascia as well as the shingles, even the roof deck that used to be up there. It was a good plan to remove this tree whenever they did. They should have just done it 20 years earlier than that. As you notice also, the stump, or what remains of the tree that used to be, it has not only caused damage to the house. Look at the way that it has, that the roots have actually pushed the slab up. They've done it here, and they've done it back here. If you're going to have a tree, but make sure when you do so that it's an appropriate distance away from the house so that you're not getting these sorts of issues. Unsafe driveways, structural issues on the house, termite issues, drainage issues, not a good plan. Sometimes in these old homes you get lath and plaster that, you know, it's a lot more brittle than in a typical sheetrock sort of a home. So for example, as you look at this crack up here, you can see that it's cracked along the ceiling and then it's been painted over once or twice. Often I get questions about whether that's a structural issue or what's exactly happening there. Sometimes when you get a crack along the ceiling, it's because your attic is inadequately vented or insulated or both. And in this particular case, this particular ceiling, you've just got an old home and it's the lath and plaster is going to crack. That comes with the territory. In a different home, the answer might be different. Let me show you this one over here. You see that this one is actually on the wall, and again it's been painted over a couple times again. Same story. Crack in lath and plaster isn't necessarily a sign of structural issues. In these older homes, sometimes you get some interesting adaptations to what was originally a tub. I want to show you on this one, for example. As I step into this tub and shower area, you know, off a bald head, shower water is going to go everywhere, and I'm only 6 feet tall, but you can see that I am actually above the top of this shower surround. But some of this area has seen some water, and obviously if you're getting this whole area wet routinely once or twice a day, you're going to have some mold. Another one of the things you want to pay attention to in some of these older homes is that the surround is not necessarily always in good shape. You get this sort of a goo down here. You get some mildew along the edges. Thank goodness, at least in this particular case, that we have a good seal between the tub and the surround. Because if you don't, guess what? Now we're back to termite issues. You know, these old homes have a lot of charm, and I just love an old home. You can find really cool stuff there, and you know, there's a reason why a lot of people just love to buy an older home. But when you get an older home, sometimes the windows and the electrical, some of the rest of it becomes a real issue. Let's take a look at this window here. You've got what I lovingly refer to as a guillotine window. Imagine your 8 or 10-year-old daughter opening this up. If she puts her hand down here and lets go of this window, that's a guillotine right there, and it's going to crush anything in its way. These used to come hung so that they would stay in position. These older homes, they rarely still have that anymore. So this particular window is unsafe. It's got to get replaced. At the same time, You've got a lock that's not working, making this a security issue. This lock just doesn't engage at all. And furthermore, this little piece of glass right here, you can see that's not sealed at all. That is another safety issue, as well as it's going to make the house cold. You probably already noticed that it's a single pane. Now, if the home were built yesterday, that would be a deficiency. Where the home was built in the 1920s, 1930s, that kind of comes with the territory on this particular house. But given all the rest of the issues that this place has, or this window has, I'm going to recommend that this window be replaced. Okay, we're down in the basement of this beautiful old mansion. There's a couple of things I want to show you down here. Now, as you look at this old rock and mortar foundation, you see the rocks that this guy originally used, and then it's Ethel, go get me another rock, I'm almost done. You see that when he finished his rock and mortar foundation, he put a plaster over it. You see how brittle this is. You see the gap going in between this foundation plaster has actually separated and spalled off, and it's just waiting to fall down on the ground like some of the rest of this stuff already has. You see also, as you look at at this plaster, that we have some salts that over time have leached through, and on this side of the plaster, you've actually got the water that evaporated. The salts were left behind. This is an indication, and you can see as you look up here the flows that are going on. There has been water in this area, more than enough to cause termite and mold problems over the history of this home. So that needs to be taken care of, and that will be a drainage issue. In the kitchen of this older home, we found another interesting item. You've got a water history on the ceiling, you've got a water history on the wall, and that could be from a number of sources. Sometimes it's urine, sometimes it's water from maybe a sink or a shower that's overflowing, sometimes it's a roof leak. In this case, we've got, as you take a look here, you've got a little bit of bubbling in the paint on the ceiling up here, and then as you move down, you can see that there's water issues. As you look here, you can see that this paint has actually bubbled a little bit, and then as you get a little further down, you see some staining. Based on that staining, looks like this particular water source came from probably a toilet. Now, nobody wants sewage on their walls, so one of the things that we need to do, besides writing this into the report, is to make sure that that toilet, at least today, is well sealed. You know, as a summary on this house, hey, it's an older house, 1930s. You're going to expect some structural movement, some lath and plaster. You're going to get some electrical, and of course we found those things here. It's also not a surprise that we found the drainage issues, the absence of rain gutters, and the absence of methods to keep water away from the house. You've got the termite issues that also are going to go on the report. That's important. And you know, other than a few other smaller issues like the water history, it's a pretty good house overall. We create a list on every home, but you know what? If you want to buy a 1930s home, this one checked out okay.